everyone and welcome to my channel. This is Leslie. Thank you for joining me today. I would just like to apologize for my screen positioning. So yeah, some of the layout is going to be cut off at the bottom of the video just for a little while, and then later on I move it up. But yeah, I'm really struggling with my getup I've got going here with my things. Anyway, let's get back to the layout. So today I'm going to be using the Willow Lane collection from Maggie Holmes Crate Paper. And you'll see there that I'm going to be adding some mixed media to my layout. And that's just some gelato that I smushed on the paper, on the plastic packaging, and added some water. And now I'm just going to be smushing it around on my paper. Now, one thing I learned is, if you saw, I rubbed with my nails over the plastic packaging, and you'll see the horrible streak marks that leaves on your paper. And there you'll see, I'm looking and I'm like amazed at how horrible that looks. You won't see it in the end layout, but hopefully you learn from my mistakes not to do that. Smush it gently onto your paper. Don't use your nails to smush it onto the layout, even if you know, those little marks or those little bits that the gelato leaves, that doesn't dissolve. So yeah, just try and take them off with a brush or something. That is my 6-year-old or my 7-year-old having a little bit of a fit. Just excuse the noise. Anyway, so there you'll see I'm just going to be smushing on some more gelato and bringing it back to my layout, and I'm trying to cover that up, that big mess that I've made there. I'm trying to cover up what I did there. But yeah, in the end you don't see it, but at that moment I felt really stupid, you know, silly leaving it that I made that mistake. And I mean, I've never done that before. I don't know why I all of a sudden did that on that layout. I mean, I've never used my nails like that before with the but anyway, there's a first time for everything, and there's a last time for some things, and hopefully that will be the last time I did that. So you'll see there that I'm going in a I'm applying the gelatos to the top left hand corner of my layout and the bottom right hand corner of my layout. And here I come in with some white acrylic paint, and I'm just going to be splatting some of that down. I did water it down a little bit, and I'm just using a really small brush just to flick it onto the paper. I wanted some more interest and some more texture behind my embellishing. So the photos that I'm going to be using is 2 of the same photos. I couldn't decide which one I liked more, so I'm just going to use them both. I'm going to sort of overlap the one photo on top of the other photo, and I wanted them to pop up, so I'm just going to be adding some fun foam behind my photos. One thing that has been bothering me about this fun foam is I don't know if it's acid free. I don't know if any fun foam is acid free. I used my fun foam to back a white cut file the other day, and I mean, it looks fine still. There's nothing bad about it or anything. However, I'm thinking, I mean, if you use fun foam, shouldn't you use white fun foam? Because in the end, if it's not white, and if it does have some acid in it, the pink will sort of, you know, bleed through the paper, or the pink will start shining through or something. I don't know. We'll just have to see in the long run, hey? I don't know if some of you have been using fun foam for a while, and if you could give me some advice on that bit, because I am scared that the color is going to start sort of, you know how acid products eat your paper and your things, and I used it to back a white cut file the other day, so I'm a bit nervous about that. I'll see how that comes along in the next 2 or 3 years. Anyway, so I'm just trying to clean up my mess there. I was making a lot of layouts that day using this collection. In fact, I'm using this collection to document the photos that my cousins took of us as a family. And so I'm busy with the album, and I've been scrapping a lot of these photos. One other thing, so I did leave the background to dry while I was fussing about with the rest of the layout. And I'm really sorry about it going off camera there. As I said, I am really struggling. I have to get somebody in to come and fix it, because I've been trying to fix it myself. My video setup and everything. It's mounted to a wall next to my table. I didn't want to use a tripod or mount it to my table because my table moves. Lucy is constantly underneath my table. My children constantly come and peek at what I'm doing. Then they bump the table. And if I did have it, my camera on a tripod on top of my table, it would just be a mess all the time. So I mounted my whole tripod get up thing for my phone next to the wall, or on the wall next to the table, and I'm really struggling with that, so I'll have to get someone to help me with that. But anyway, you'll see that I fussy cut the little hearts out of one of the pattern papers of the 12 by 12 sheet pattern paper pad. I can't talk today. So I'm going to be lightly adhering those little hearts that I folded in half, sort of to look like they're flying away, like little butterflies, but they're little hearty flies. Hearty flies. Anyways, so I'm just going to be lightly adhering them. I was planning on machine stitching through all of those. And here you'll see I'm going to go and machine stitch, and there you go. I'm machine stitched. Now I have the happy stitch from We Are Memory Keepers, but that thing is the bane of my existence. I don't know if I purchased a dud, or if there's a manufacturing fault with it, or if I am just useless, but I cannot get it to work properly. It keeps on breaking my thread. The needle keeps on breaking. I mean, I have watched all of the tutorials on YouTube concerning that little machine, and I do exactly what they say in the tutorials, and my machine just, I don't know. It is the biggest frustration using my little machine. That is why I keep on thinking I must have a dud, because surely this cannot be the way this thing is working. Surely this is not right. Anyway, so I was using my Singer to just stitch through those, and I would rather use my Singer that literally the nuts and bolts fall out of it when you use it. The other day I was using it, and the little light bulb bloop, just fell out while I was using it. So I would rather use that thing that is literally falling apart while I am sewing than use my brand spanking new expensive Happy Stitch. So I must be doing something wrong. If any of you have any advice, if you do have the Happy Stitch, please give me some advice, because I feel, I feel a bit annoyed with myself because I cannot get this machine to work properly. And you can imagine, it's not like I can go to a shop here in Dubai or order this thing online and, have it at my house in a couple of days. I mean, I live in Dubai, and I had to order the Happy Stitch from the US, and you can imagine the shipping with that. So yes, my frustration just grew and grew. Anyway, so if you have any advice on using the Happy Stitch, please feel free to spam me, because I need some advice. So, considering the fact that my daughter and I are lying on the grass, I always thought that the beautiful word dream in the 6x12 sticker sheet would work really beautifully with this layout. So I used the big chipboard word always, and I'm going to be putting that word dream at the bottom. So my title will be Always Dream. And it's one thing I'll teach my kids, that they must never give up, they must always have a dream, and anything is possible. And I think that is it for my layout. I do some doodly borders or some scratchy borders around my photos, just to bring in that very sketchy, scratchy, doodly bits, or sort of sketchy aspect of the always word, of the always chipboard word. And I do add some more chipboard just to balance out that and the word. And I just bring in some chipboard hearts and just to also echo all the hearts around the layout. I think this is it for this layout. As I said, I do add some scratchy lines as a border around my photos. And yes, so I would just like to also say that if you do have a need for this collection, you could pop on over to the Paper Issues shop and have a look at what they have. I think they still have some of this collection left. It's a beautiful collection. And if you do find yourself with a basket or a cart that is full and you would like to check out of the Paper Issues shop, you can use my code word, my coupon word, Leslie, Leslie, and you can get 20% off your purchase. And yeah, that makes everybody happy. So you can go on over and just do that. So I am going to be popping up that little flower on some foam, on some craft foam as well, just to, because it was sort of flopping around in mid-air, because half the little flower, the fussy cut flower, is on the photos. That is also on some craft foam. And yeah, that little chipboard piece sort of tore apart as I took it out of its little nestled bit there. And I'm just going to be adding some more gold. I wanted to add in a little bit of gold just to balance out the Heidi swap that I did, the Heidi swap color shine that I did on the background. And yes, it is off camera. And it seemed like everything just annoyed me during the process of making this layout. However, I love this layout. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. And I will see you again soon. Bye!